What stupid laws exists because people were buttholes? There's a big hill in my town and it was a tradition to slide down it with cardboard, but people kept leaving their cardboard and other trash, so they made it illegal. In Ohio, a policeman is allowed to bite a dog if they think it will calm the dog down. Why the FCK would that calm the dog down? This is probably following that myth of establishing dominance in a single move. Pickles have to be able to bounce in CT since 2 guys were jerks and sold expired ones. If they don't bounce, they aren't pickles. We have a law where if you have a dog and only have a beware of dog sign on the front but not on the back door, we would be liable if our dog bites a robber that came through the back. So that's fun. Okay, this blew up. I didn't expect so many people to notice this. Cool. IDK if it helps, but it's a law in the Netherlands. It's a stupid law and should be removed. You know the dude who pushed for that sold signs full-time Lamfeo. You can't keep an ice cream in your back pocket in some parts of America. In the olden days when everyone rode horses, you couldn't just hop on a horse and ride away. That's stealing. But if the horse followed you home, that's okay. So people used to put ice cream in their back pocket to make the horse follow them. Not exactly a law, but in a prior job, our rulebook, that was written by Transport Canada, specifically stated that gloves were not to be put in the microwave. In my job's training, there are specific instructions that we are not to wash our hands or face with bleach. I've heard that you can't get a fish drunk in Idaho or Ohio. I can't remember which one. I don't know what the story behind this is, but I can't imagine them deciding to make this law for no reason. I'm betting it has something to do with illegal fishing tactics. Chuck a bunch of alcohol into the water and proceed to easily catch the drunk fish. Not a law but a school rule. In my county you can't use your phone on the bus because some kid recorded 2 buttholes fighting. This seems like those children were helping the police. In Denmark there is this old law that if you find a child who is not claimed within a certain amount of hours, you can claim the rights to it. Well, now you just let all the sex slave traffickers know. Great job. Sydney has lockout laws in place where you cannot enter venues selling alcohol, i.e. bars, pubs, clubs after a certain time because alcohol-related violence just went out of control. Not a law, but let me rant about this situation here in my city in Austria. Some buttholes dumped their trash to the wrong trash cans. Now they enclosed every trash place in a huge metal cage. Now if I take out the trash, I always have to unlock this huge metal door. First, I have no free hand to mess with keys. Second, it's loud as heck, and third, it's freaking stupid. In my country, people complained the dumpsters were attracting rats, so the city decided the best solution is to simply remove the dumpsters. People continued putting their trash in the same place, just without a dumpsters. It was a worse situation then. I know in New York garbage trucks had to change their entire design, costing millions and many complication. Basically a whole freaking mess, all because some old lady was walking her dog and simply walking into a moving garbage truck. She didn't have the right of way. Truck did nothing wrong, which killed her dog. She sued and apparently won, blaming the design of the garbage truck. Like WTF, the entire lower half. In my town you're not allowed to make clam chowder with tomato sauce or you'll get arrested. I have no idea why, and you get yelled at if you ask why. In New Orleans it's illegal to wear high heels. The French Quarter is full of grates in the sidewalks for water. A woman wearing high heels caught the heel in one of the grates, tripped, and broke her ankle. She then sued the city. The city then passed an ordinance and made it illegal to wear high heels to prevent future lawsuits. The made-up law of having to provide anyone water upon request in AZ when no such law exists. Frick off, Karen, get your own water. Maybe not what you're thinking of, OP, but mobile phones are now banned in my workplace as policy because my husband called me 7 times during work hours while I worked closely with my boss about my coffee preferences. No hay bueno. Somewhat understandable though. Once upon a time, I heard that in Tennessee, it's illegal to harpoon a whale in a moving vehicle. It is illegal to harpoon a whale in a landlocked state, but doing it in a non-moving vehicle is okay. WHATTHYFUCKETH. TN. A lot of those wacky laws are bulls. There's probably a law that says you can't shoot any weapon from a moving vehicle. Some dumbass blogger somewhere said, hey, a harpoon is a weapon. I'll say it's illegal to harpoon a whale. Technically true, but the law probably doesn't specifically state harpoons or whales. Censored hentai, and the only reason it hasn't changed is because no one wants to be the guy who proposes it be changed, because that would be to perv. Why? I'll take that bullet. Never seen any hentai before, but I'm sure I will be praised by the hidden watchers everywhere when I do. You are not allowed to hunt Scots with a bow and arrow in a northern English town in Sunday. The rest of the week it is perfectly legal. This is the city that I'm from, York. It's a bylaw, but I'm not entirely sure you'd get away with it nowadays. Can't stomp on money in Taiwan. I'm not sure of the country's name, but once I got almost arrested for doing that. I didn't even notice that a few bucks fell out of my pockets and I accidentally stepped on it. A lot of them, if you think about it. We wouldn't need hate crime laws if there were no hate crimes. We wouldn't need harassment laws if people didn't harass. No rape laws if there was no rape, etc. I came to this thread for the laughs and left with the feels. Sodomy is illegal, in general, in Idaho, Utah, Michigan, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. In these states, sodomy is only illegal for homosexuals. Montana, Kansas, Oklahoma and Texas. Literally a stupid law about buttholes. I heard it's illegal to garden in New Zealand. Saw some gangster granny growing avocados in the backyard and she masked her face. Rather sad actually. We need a hip hop band with a gangster granny. Using that sidewalk chalk is illegal. Some people started complaining it was toxic to the environment. Now the younger kids will never get the pleasure to make huge artworks outside. There were reports that some sidewalk chalk from cheap shops like the dollar places were contaminated with heavy metals lead. I don't know if this was exercised recently, but there's a law in India where a person can be jailed for 3 months for singing uttering obscenities in public. Even acting is included, and since obscenity isn't clearly defined, it could be interpreted in any way by the presiding judge. So technically, just saying frick out loud in a public place could get you jailed for 3 months. My township in O has an ordinance banning trash bags at the curb if they are filled with garbage. They have to be in a trash can or you get a fine for violating the ordinance and for littering. How this law came about: you used to be able to put loose trash bags out an hour before pickup. Pickup for my neighborhood is usually 5 or 6 AM. Some people felt that it was way too early to get up and would put their bags on the curb the night before. They didn't want to buy the approved trash bin from the township. Free replacement if you lost it, until some buttholes claimed they lost it but gave it to a friend and got a new one. Now you rent your trash bin from the township if you didn't own one before the rule went into effect. If you owned one before the rule went into effect, you either have to prove that the can is broken or missing. If you can't, you now have to rent from the township. Problem with putting the trash bags out the night before is the local wildlife, mainly the raccoon. A large chunk of the township surrounds the largest county park and wildlife area. They would shred those trash bags and scatter the trash all over the place. Since people couldn't follow the rules about when loose trash bags could be taken down to the curb, and refused to clean up the mess after the raccoons were done, the township banned trash bags. The most vocal ones argued that it was no longer their trash once they placed it at the curb, and that the garbage men should be required to clean up the mess that resulted from the homeowners' laziness. In New York it's illegal to flirt in public. In Pennsylvania, no, I can't spell it and I'm only 67% sure that's the right place, it's illegal to sleep in a fridge outside. If I could lock up all the buttholes who've catcalled me over the years. They've been barking up the wrong tree, but still. It's illegal to use tents in almost all places. It's illegal to sleep in public. It's illegal to defecate or urinate in public. All these are made to punish homeless people and keep them out of people's neighborhoods. If you want to stop these things, make more homeless shelters and public bathrooms. These things are a necessity to absolutely everyone, and when people have no access to them, they will have to act in savagey manners to perform them, whether you like them or not. Also, fining homeless people is absolutely insane. They're homeless, they can't afford a fine. These people have it hard enough and don't need to be thrown in jail for being deprived of basic human needs. It just won't help them. Think what you want politically, but there are better options here than the standards and reparations we currently have in place. It's illegal to defecate in public because of public sanitation. Ask San Diego, hepatitis outbreak, 20 deaths. You're right though, the solution for homelessness isn't fines. It is infrastructure and ways for people to reboot their lives. Pretty much in all of Scandinavia it is forbidden to sell spirits and other strong alcoholic drinks from grocery stores. Beers, ciders etc. are okay. This right is reserved for the government-owned alcohol stores. Sale of alcohol is also usually limited to certain time frames. In Sweden you can only buy beer cider in the grocery store up till 3.5%. Denmark is a bit more relaxed where you can buy stronger stuff grocery store and so on. I don't really know about the origins of this law, but in my country it's illegal to tell someone that their mother is not their real mother. IDK if this counts, but someone in elementary school climbed out of the window to fetch a loom band and now no one is allowed to go anywhere unsupervised if the windows aren't locked. Here in Italy there is a shadow on the road tax, so if you place an object in your property that makes a shadow on a public road you will have to pay for it. Don't really know the context behind this, but it is absurd. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.